Okay, in this recap, we want to talk about stoichiometry. Stoichiometry is a word that says, okay, when we have a balanced equation, how can we convert from one substance to another substance? And that can be anywhere on this balanced equation. I can compare two reactants. I can compare two products, a product to a reactant, a product to a reactant or a reactant to a product. I can convert those either way. So the questions are going to read differently, but they all go through this funnel, the mole ratio, where we have moles of one substance converted to moles of another. And that's these balanced equation coefficients. These can represent moles or individual molecules. Most of the problems are going to read as moles. So this is a 2:7 ratio of reactants. If you were to mix those together, you need to mix them together in that ratio. But we can say if I have 2 of these, I can make 4 of those. That's a 2:4 ratio. Or a 2:6 ratio. We can compare any of those we want, but we have this funnel that we can compare them. Now, where do we start? Well, if I have grams, I can go into moles. Okay, and there's this funnel that takes place. If I want to get to another molecule, it has to go through this mole ratio. We can also do molecules using Avogadro's number. And then once we get to our new molecule, then we can kind of go backwards and we can say, all right, now we have this transition. I can go back to grams of another thing. I'll say grams of B or molecules of B. And that can be atoms as well, but Avogadro's number. So the periodic table can only go between grams and moles of one substance. I'm not allowed to go from grams of one to grams of another. So anytime you have a question that says you're trying to convert between two different chemicals, you have to have a balanced equation, and you're going to end up using this mole ratio to go between them to say, okay, if I have this, how much of this other thing can I produce? Or if I have this reactant, how much of the other reactant do I need? So we have to get a literacy here too. We have to see what the questions mean. I can also say, if I want this many product, how much of this reactant do I need to start the reaction? So we can go with a target at the end as well. The questions all read differently, but the construct here is all the same when you're starting your dimensional analysis. And if you're starting these up with conversion factors, you start with whatever you're given over 1 and just keep canceling out units until you get to your target. But this is a general guide to help you figure out where you need to go. So hopefully that helps you troubleshoot a little bit of stoichiometry, kind of seeing this mole ratio as the balanced equation coefficients is the fundamental way to get from one particle to another.